In 2013, there was a significant upheaval in the CCP government. Xi Jinping launched the so-called anti-corruption campaign, which essentially aimed to eliminate any potential political opponents.
坚持零容忍的态度不变，做到有案必查，有腐必惩，让腐败分子在党内没有任何藏身之地。
As a result, numerous former high-ranking Chinese officials were ousted. Some were even arrested. Leading the charge was Wang Qishan, a former big shot in Beijing, who was once Liu Zhuhua's boss and friend. This crackdown turned China upside down, and Miles and his family were right in the middle of it. According to the internet, the Guo family was already a major shareholder of Founder Securities at that time, and also held a large number of shares in other stock exchanges. Of course, high-ranking CCP officials had long been eyeing to carve up this lucrative business. Within the circle of Beijing politicians Miles befriended was a close friend named Ma Jian, who served as the deputy minister of the Ministry of State Security at the time. As Ma Jian held numerous pieces of incriminating evidence against Wang Qishan, he became the center of a state-led investigation and was subsequently arrested. Wang Qishan suspected that Miles also held incriminating evidence against him. At the end of 2013, anticipating Wang Qishan's move to arrest him, Miles flew to Hong Kong, but Wang Qishan's retaliation had just begun. On January 10, 2015, while Miles was visiting in the UK, Pangu Plaza was swarmed by dozens of police cars and hundreds of officers encircling the building. During this raid, the police detained numerous Pangu employees and several of Miles's family members, including Miles's 5 brothers, his wife, and his young adult daughter. Using force during these types of raids was commonplace for the CCP, and so it was at Pangu that day. Police violently cleared out all the offices, using force on innocent employees. Miles would get a call a few hours after this horrible event. This man behind the call was Wu Jing, also known as Bruno Wu, a U.S. citizen holding an American passport, who navigated between the complexities of U.S.-China relations. His underlying identity, however, was that of a spy nurtured over an extended period by the Chinese Communist Party. Wu publicly registered under FARA in the United States and lobbied openly on behalf of the CCP. He was born into a family with a history of espionage. His grandfather provided legal defense for early leaders of the CCP a century ago, rescuing many communist officials from the opponent's Kuomintang prisons. Because of his deep generational ties to the CCP, Wu was able to live above the law in what is informally known as a death exemption plate. On January 20th, 2015, in an effort to gather more information about Miles's activities abroad, the CCP authorities released his wife and daughter, subjecting them to 24-hour surveillance. In the days that followed, several of Miles's family members and employees were also released. However, many endured inhumane treatment and torture, leading to lifelong disabilities. Among them, the CCP detained Miles's 3 brothers for a period ranging from 1 to 2 years. The CCP also established a special task force that appeared daily at Miles's company, conducting comprehensive surveillance of finances and personnel. Even today, despite having complete control over all of Miles's domestic assets, the CCP has repeatedly attempted to lure him back to China. At the end of 2016, the Dalian task force arrested Miles's daughter and his brother once again, using this as leverage to compel Miles to return to China to cooperate with the CCP. Repeatedly using his family as leverage, the CCP drove Miles to the edge. Faced with such dire circumstances, Miles's options were limited to either submission or resistance. Miles understood deeply that compliance meant self-destruction, as the CCP consistently oppressed and exploited the people, never demonstrating any semblance of justice or fairness. The deep-seated resentment and anger that Miles had carried for decades finally erupted. Having endured the intrusive malice of the CCP in China for 28 years, brought Miles to a point of no return. A pursuit of justice and freedom would expose the cowardice and shadow warfare of the CCP.